At this time, I'd like to welcome Dr. Keegan Nichols. She is Vice President of Student Affairs at Arkansas Tech University. Dr. Nichols.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is so exciting to see you. And as you can see, we have a pretty incredible lineup for you today. But one person who is not able to speak, but I do want to recognize, is Board of Trustee Lynn Cotton. Thank you for being here. What an incredible honor to welcome you to the 44th Arkansas Governor's School. Since convening its inaugural class in 1980, Arkansas Governor's School has challenged rising high school seniors to closely examine the world in which they live and how they might change it for the better. Arkansas Tech University is pleased and excited to continue this remarkable tradition of learning, preserve it, and add it as we move forward in the future. I would like to begin by speaking with you, the students gathered here as 2023 Arkansas Governor's School participants. Look around you. You might see familiar faces. You no doubt see people you may be meeting for the very first time. Get to know them, learn their story, and share your story. These are your peers. These individuals, like you, have committed to investing 4 weeks of their summer in growing and developing academically, personally, and socially. The stranger to your left may become a good friend for life. The stranger to your right may help you see the world in a better place. Together, each of you will leave here in 4 weeks with a new set of critical thinking skills and a new bank of knowledge that you can draw upon as you continue your educational journey. Make good use of these 4 weeks. Arkansas Governor's School is foundational in developing you as a student and as a person. Make your foundation strong and ready to support the future of your dreams. At this time, I would like to invite State Senator Breanne Davis of Russellville to come forward and introduce our guest of honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Arkansas Governor's School. Today, I am honored to introduce someone that I've known for over 20 years now. Somebody I met in a political science class at Ouachita Baptist University back in 2001. It's just a reminder that as you look around the room today, that you never know where life will take you or who you will continue to cross paths with in your journey. Our special guest today is the first woman to serve as governor of Arkansas and is currently the youngest governor in the country. Since taking office, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has enacted transformational reforms. I've heard her say many times that she wants to be known as the education governor. So it was no surprise that her first major priority as governor was working to pass the LEARNS Act. This legislation does so many things, but a big one is that it takes Arkansas from one of the lowest starting teacher salaries in the country to the top 5. In fact, when adjusted for cost of living, it makes Arkansas the highest starting teacher salary in the nation. I was honored to be the Senate sponsor of the LEARNS Act and have some very cool memories that I know are part of history. Right now, Arkansas doesn't have a single county where a majority of third graders can read on grade level. But one day, I know that we'll be able to look back at this pivotal time in our state's history and know that because of the hard work of many people, the bold leadership of Governor Sanders, and the passion, energy, and won't quit work ethic of Education Secretary Jacob Oliva, that statistic won't hold true forever. In her first 100 days, she delivered education reform, criminal justice reform, and cut taxes, something that many said couldn't be done. But we all know how the saying goes. Those who say it cannot be done should not interrupt the ones that are doing it. In her first 100 days, she also delivered the Republican response to President Joe Biden's State of the Union address, offering a bold vision for a new generation of conservative leadership. Prior to her historic victory as governor, she served as White House press secretary for President Donald J. Trump, advising him on everything from press and communication strategy to personnel and policy. She was the third woman and the very first mom to ever hold the job as White House press secretary. She had previously worked in leadership roles for U.S. senators, governors, presidential campaigns. In Arkansas, she was senior advisor to U.S. Senator Tom Cotton's 2014 victorious campaign and was campaign manager for U.S. Senator John Bozeman's winning campaign in 2010. In 2007 and 2008, she helped lead her father, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, to victory in the Iowa caucuses and 7 other states as his national political director. She also served in the Department of Education during President George W. Bush's administration. Governor Sanders has been recognized in Fortune and Time magazine's 40 Under 40. She is also the author of a New York Times bestseller, Speaking for Myself, is a former Fox News contributor, and served on the Fulbright board. She grew up in Pine Bluff and Texarkana and is the proud graduate of Little Rock Central High and Ouachita Baptist University. I just read off a lot of things to you about her because I think it's really important for you guys to know. But what I respect about her most is who she is. She's someone that when the cameras are off and she's not in the limelight, she is consistently the same person when people are paying attention and when they're not. She's making the most of every opportunity to serve people and to make a difference, and I think that matters. So I'm impressed with her. She has an impressive resume, and she's done a lot of really cool things globally and across our country. But I'm impressed because she has stayed true to who she is. She's confident and knows exactly who she is and is looking to not just make a better life for her and her family, but to make a better life for the 3.1 million Arkansans across our state. She knows that we should be ranked higher in a lot of things because we have potential and ability, and she's here to serve us and help us meet that potential, and that matters. So thank you all. Please join me now in welcoming Arkansas's 47th governor, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Thank you so much. I feel like I should quit now that I am ahead. It's pretty rare that you get an introduction like that. I am unbelievably honored to be here today. One, because it's a good thing I ran and became governor of Arkansas, because I would never have been admitted into governor's school. I'm not quite the stellar student that I think most of you are, representing some of our state's very best and brightest. Senator Davis, thank you so much for the very kind introduction. As you stated, we got to know each other nearly 2 decades ago. I think it's such a great reminder to look around the room at the people that you're seated with, the people that you'll spend the next 4 weeks with, because these will be people you will likely intersect with many times over. Get to know them. Take time to appreciate the skills they have that you don't, so that you can complement one another in the future. Make friends, because you never know who may be introducing you one day, and you want to make sure that you were nice to them over the last couple of decades so they say really nice things about you. It is such an honor to welcome students, parents, and faculty here at one of Arkansas's great institutions. It's always an honor and a privilege to be here at Arkansas Tech's campus. And it's exciting to join you here at a pivotal moment in your educational journey. I still think some of the best memories that I have came from growing up in Arkansas and during the time where I attended Little Rock Central High. You know, Little Rock Central High is a place full of traditions. It's a lot of things that have been going on for decades. One of my favorite traditions that we got to participate in while I was a student at Central was the junior caravan. This was the day where junior students were becoming seniors, and it took place as the seniors were taking their last of their final exams. So the junior class gets to skip school on a sanctioned skip day. I mean, sanctioned by ourselves. Obviously, the school wasn't pushing for us to skip class. But we would take this day off and we would caravan around the city. And one of the traditions was, as we passed by the high school there at Central, is one of the students would bring a chain and lock the senior high parking lot so that the senior students couldn't leave. It was a way for us to try to keep them there a little bit longer. That was at least the story. I think it was really just to see who could pull off the best pranks in the junior class. Usually, one of the seniors would bring bolt cutters and quickly open the gates back up And the joke only lasted for a few minutes. Because my class was full of a lot of overachievers, we decided we'd go a step further than just putting a simple chain on the gates there at the lot. We pulled our money together, and for the ripe cost of $250, we bought an old beat-up station wagon that didn't run. We painted it in black and gold, the colors that represented our high school, and we put the class of 2000 there on the hood, and every student in the junior class signed the hood, and we towed that car and we left it right there at the gates of the senior parking lot so that the seniors would not be able to exit. As you can imagine, they were pretty furious. They weren't able to break the chain so quickly, but they did bring out baseball bats and golf clubs and beat that station wagon to bits. To be clear, I'm not encouraging anybody to participate in that type of tradition if it's not something that already takes place at your high school. And to the parents in the audience, rest assured, this is not the governor telling your kids to get in trouble while they're here at Governor's School over the course of the next several weeks. But I do think it's a reminder that the memories that you make here can last a lifetime, and that you should cherish each of the 4 weeks that you will have here on campus. You are among the very best and brightest from our state, selected from a hyper-competitive applicant pool to create the most enriching intellectual environment possible. You're going to discuss, learn, and do amazing things over the course of the next month. When I ran for this office, I promised that I would be the education governor. And with help from leaders like Senator Davis and Secretary Oliva, we have overhauled our entire school system, K through 12, in just a few short months. That includes pay raises for teachers, education freedom for parents, and major investments in literacy for students. For high schoolers like you, we're focusing on bringing in the skills education programs that we know will help more students land jobs right after graduation. But we can't take our education system to the top without committed students. That's why I'm so glad to see each of you here today, taking time out of your summer simply for the sake of learning. Thank you to the Governor's School faculty, and especially the leadership team here at Arkansas Tech for making this program possible. And to the students in the audience, thank you for taking advantage of this amazing opportunity and dedicating your time to learning. I hope that you will take time to enjoy these 4 weeks, that you will make memories that will last a lifetime, so that one day when you're standing on this stage, you'll have ample speech content, because you will certainly need it. I want to be one of the first to say congratulations to you. We cannot wait to see what you do next. Thank you for letting me be here, and have a great 4 weeks.
Thank you, Governor Sanders, and thank you so much for being here, and thank you for wearing green. You can tell she must bleed green and gold, so we really appreciate you being here. We are also honored to join us today is Mr. Jacob Oliva, Secretary of Arkansas Department of Education and Commissioner for the Arkansas Department of Education Division of Elementary and Secondary Education. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders appointed Mr. Oliva as Secretary for the Arkansas Department of Education. He began as Secretary on January 10th, 2023. The Arkansas State Board of Education selected him as Commissioner of ADE's Division of Elementary and Secondary Education on January 12, 2023. Prior to being named as Secretary and Commissioner, Mr. Oliva served in numerous roles at the Florida Department of Education. Most recently as Interim Commissioner. He joined the Florida Department as Executive Vice President of the Public Schools Division in 2017 and became Chancellor in 2019, and his division supported more than 2.8 million students in approximately 3,600 Florida public schools. In 2021, he was promoted to Senior Chancellor, and his responsibilities expanded to include early learning, school choice programs, school safety, and school accountability. Additionally, he encouraged statewide leadership and communication between Florida Department of Education and the state school district. Mr. Oliva is a graduate of Miami-Dade County Public Schools and Flagler College in Florida. He began his educational career more than 2 decades ago as an elementary teacher for students with special needs. He later served as principal both at the elementary and high school levels and as an assistant superintendent and superintendent of the Flagler County Schools. Please help me in joining Mr. Jacob Oliva.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Let's try that again. Good afternoon, everyone. So it's great to be here. Thank you to Arkansas Tech and Peter and Jacob and everybody that helped organize this event. And also thanks to all the volunteers that are going to spend the next few weeks working to make sure we have a high quality, robust program. So I'd like to just take a few minutes to talk to some of the students here in this room, some of the young scholars. First, if you see your parent here, you need to turn to them and say thank you, because they made sure that you were prepared and that you're being here to be able to enjoy this endeavor. So I'm going to pause so I can hear some nice thank yous to the students, to the parents. I don't hear you. I guess we call that silent love, right? Sometimes the love that you feel is a little bit better than the love that you hear. So students, congratulations for making it to this prestigious event, and congratulations on becoming a senior in high school. So how many of you have already figured out what you're going to do after high school? Show of hands. A handful, huh? How many of you decided you're going to go to college? Oh, a lot more hands. How many of you decided where you're going to go? Oh, half and half. Guess what? It's okay. It's okay not to know all the answers. You're about to go into your senior year of high school, and you're going to enjoy that experience, and you're going to have a lot of opportunities to make these decisions. I always try to relate to the students that we get to talk to, because I also have children around the same age as many of the people here in this room. So I always look at my children and say, what are some of those life lessons that they've learned, or what are some of those life lessons that they need to learn as they're looking forward to moving forward in life? And one thing that I've learned, and parents might have to back me up on this, is when you all were younger, you could watch the same movie over and over, like 7 times in a row, every single day, and never get tired of it. True or false? True, right? So my kids used to love watching those movies, and to the students, what you don't realize is your parents really enjoyed watching those movies alongside of you and learning some of those wonderful lessons that we've learned in some of those movies. And one of my children's favorite movies, and it might have been some of your favorite movies growing up, was a movie called Cars. Does anybody remember that? Yeah, who's the main character of Cars? Lightning McQueen. Every time he came on stage, what song did they play? Oh, I think I heard it. Life is a Highway, right? So that was always what I got used to, and I would get excited every time I heard that song. Well, just now in your senior year, going into your senior high school, your life is a highway. And I'm here to tell you that life, when you get on that highway, isn't hitting cruise control and it's an easy drive till you get to your destination. There's going to be traffic jams. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be exit ramps. You might have a car breakdown. You're going to have speed bumps in life, and you're going to have adversity in your life as you go along the way. So if we map out how far we've been in our journey in our life, I'd like to just kind of even map it out. I read somewhere that the average person is, let's say, 85 years old. So I'm going to walk across the front of these steps, and I want you to count with me by tens until we get all the way to 85. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 85. It's the length of the stage. So if we look at this, life is our highway is the length of the stage. Let's look at where we are right now. You ready? 10. 17. You're not even 2 steps in. So when I tell you don't have to have it all figured out, it's okay. But there's a couple things that I've seen successful people do as they figure out how they want to be successful and manage their journey in their lives. You're not even 2 steps in. You've got a big, bright future ahead of you. The first thing I know that successful people do is they never stop learning. They continue to commit to learning, and they read. They read everything that they can get their hands on how they can help be better as a person and better at reaching their goals in life. The second thing that I see a lot of successful people do is they find a mentor. They have a role model or somebody they look up to. It could be one of your family members. It could be a colleague at work. It could be a friend that you meet here right at this governor's school. But they have somebody that they can talk to and confide in. And the third thing that I know a lot of successful people do each and every single day is before they go to sleep at night, they ask themselves one simple question. Was I better today than I was the day before? And if they weren't, then they would look at why they weren't as successful as they wanted to be. And if they were, they wake up the next morning ready to continue to improve. If you think about those three little things, commit to being a lifelong learner, finding a mentor, and asking yourself each and every single day if you were better that day than the day before, your highway, your journey to life is going to have a lot less speed bumps, and you're probably going to hit cruise control through a lot of it on some of those parts that you might want to get to pretty quickly. So as we've heard other speakers here today say that this is a wonderful experience that you get to partake in. Many of you are going to build a lot of lifelong friends and relationships that you're going to carry on for many years. Congratulations to you, congratulations to the parents, and thank you to everybody for making this event happen.
Thank you, Secretary Oliva. Our next speaker is a proud alumna of Arkansas Governor's School who has gone on to become an educational leader in our state. Lupe Peña de Martinez served K-12 students in Little Rock as an instructor and assistant principal before then moving on to the Sheridan School District as a principal. Since 2021, Lupe has served as Director of Student Support Services for the Arkansas Department of Education. Please welcome Lupe Peña de Martinez.
I said prerequisite to be up here is to be very tall, so I'm thankful that I can lower this. First, parents, thank you. Thank you for entrusting your children to us. I have 5 children of my own, ranging from 7 to 26. And so I know it takes a lot because each child is so different. So moms, dads, parents, caregivers, thank you for the sacrifice, and thank you for raising them right so they could be here. To the AGS faculty and staff, how's dorm life treating you? Right? A lot of people may not realize that. The faculty stay on site and they're in dorms. Thank you, resident assistants, for everything you're going to do, for sacrificing for that these kids can have what they deserve. Arkansas Tech, wow. Board of Trustees, thank you. There's so much behind the scene work that no one will ever see because it's done so well. Thank you for hosting the 44th Arkansas Governor's School. And finally, thank you, Governor, Secretary, for believing in this program that has shaped so many lives. And this is where I guess I was invited for story time. So I want you to envision this. It is July 2nd, 1998. I know, kids, you weren't even born yet. Thanks. That morning, I got up really early, and my mom handed me a cooler full of cold cuts and a thermos full of homemade tortillas. My parents dropped me off at the airport in San Diego, California, and entrusted me with my 4 younger siblings to come to Arkansas. You can imagine as a 16-year-old what that felt like. Now, imagine this even more, and I did research this to make sure. When we landed in Arkansas, it was 99 degrees, sprinkling just a little bit with a dew point of 71.7. What does that translate to? Hot and humid. My parents hated me. While I was born in San Diego de Alejandría, Jalisco, Mexico, I was raised in Southern California. And so when my dad said we were moving to Arkansas, it was the same year the Truman Show came out. I was certain the camera crew was gonna come out in a minute and let me go back home. Alas, when we came off that plane, my sister was only 13 and our hair went, it was horrible. I knew the day I turned 18, I was packing my bags and I was going back home and no one was stopping me. But that journey of life, God, is unexpected. That next summer, I was accepted to Arkansas Governor's School. And my life changed. Arkansas was still hot in July, but suddenly, I was surrounded by people who were so smart, who challenged one another, who didn't argue to argue, they questioned to think. They recognized that I'm only at the beginning of my journey and I'm going to go further, but I need other people to get there. So students, yes, you're going to go to class. Students, you're going to live dorm life. Students, you're going to push each other. There's going to be people who are going to say things in class that you're going to go, whoa, I never thought of it that way. And you may not agree with that person, but you'll realize the way I see the world is just one way of seeing it. So let me stop and get to know each other. So yes, I learned all the academics. From there, I went on to Donaghy Scholars Program at UA Little Rock and many other wonderful opportunities. But what someone else said, the friendships. After Governor's School, I had Crystal, Amanda, Anne, all sorts of fantastic people who shared a history with me. And so with that, I know that some of you are part of that 44-year legacy. If you attended Governor's School or have ever taught at Governor's School, please stand up. Please give them a hand. Please be seated. And the funny thing for me is, Brittany, my best friend that I went backpacking through Europe with, we didn't even know each other in Governor's School, but when we were going through pictures, her arm was in one of mine. My back was in some of her shots, because that's what you're here for. You're part of a legacy of Arkansas excellence. Sometimes what we think is the worst thing that could happen to us turns out to be the biggest blessing. In 1998, I thought my world was over. Little did I know that coming to Governor's School would change that path and that trajectory. So students, I've thanked everyone else, but I'm thanking you now. Thank you for not self-selecting out. Thank you for submitting those essays. Thank you for checking those emails. Thank you. When other people think you're crazy because you're giving up your summer, you're not crazy. You are right now in the room with the future leaders of tomorrow. Arkansas is a great place to live, a great place to raise families. I know, because I wouldn't live anywhere else. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy Governor's School.
Thank you, Lupe, for your very heartfelt memories and your heartfelt comments with regards to Governor's School. Lupe is one of the 3 or 4 people that we work with in Little Rock with regards to Governor's School, and they have been so supportive to us, and we are thrilled that you were able to join us today. As you've heard several times already today, this is the 44th session of Arkansas Governor's School, and is the 5th year that it has been held here at Arkansas Tech. Over 16,000 Arkansas Rising seniors have attended Governor's School since it began in 1980. And we will add another 380 to that list this year. We're ready to wrap up the ceremony, but there are two final groups that I would like to recognize. We have 40 faculty members teaching at Governor's School this year. They come to us from universities and school districts throughout the state of Arkansas, and a handful as well from beyond the borders of Arkansas. The vast majority of them are over here in the Chartwells section, I guess, with the blue polo shirts on. Faculty, could you please stand up and let's give a big round of applause for our faculty. And students, all of you will have 3 separate classes, so you'll have 3 of those faculty members as your instructors, but certainly many other opportunities to meet several of them beyond that. And then finally, there's another group that sometimes doesn't get the respect they deserve. They have already gone through a training that has lasted several days, and when everyone else leaves Governor's School, students and faculty, there's one group that still has to work for one more day, and that's the resident assistants, the resident directors, John Gardner and Andy Diaz-Lopez, our activities director, Andrea Amador, and the other 20 RAs who likewise come from throughout the state. 10 or 11 of them attended Governor's School, most of them in 2021. Another 4 or 5 of them have been RAs previously, and then we've got five rookies that we allowed to join the team. But they're over here. Could the RAs please stand up, and let's give them a big round of applause. All right. And I'm not going to name check any more of them, but I will say this, that the president of the Arkansas Tech Student Government Association this past year, he's among the RAs, and Arkansas Tech class of 2023's top female graduate is also among the RAs. So yeah, future leaders, that's for sure. Okay, so that's going to wrap up our event. Jacob and I will put our talks back in our pocket and we'll pull them out for the closing ceremony perhaps, or we'll just have a random event at some point. But thank you all for attending. Now, parents and students, we're going to have a meeting after this, all right, and parents and students. It will last about a half an hour. We'll take maybe a quick 3-minute break after the platform party leaves. And then Jacob and I will be meeting with you covering some detail issues. I would like very much to thank our platform party representing Arkansas Tech, Dr. Keegan Nichols, representing the Arkansas Department of Education, Jacob Oliva and Lupe Pena de Martinez, Lynn Cotton representing, and by the way, is Cottontown named after your family down there in the bottoms? I think it probably is. Yeah. Representing, I guess, Yell County and Arkansas Tech University, and on our Board of Trustees, Senator Breanne Davis, thank you as well. And finally, we are thrilled to have with us today the governor of the state of Arkansas for Governor's School. Thank you very much, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.